posting a link. So 1 second. Oh, I see Tay. Hey. All right.
Hello, welcome in, welcome in. Hey, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure my dog ain't dead and nothing here, no business doing. Give me 1 second, y'all. Move, Tiki.
All right, let me share with more. Hey, Kendra. Hey, guys, thanks for coming. Hang on 1 second. I'm still sending out links to people, too, so I can invite as many people as I can that were asking for the link. Okay, let me see. Let me see.
Hey, y'all, for the one that coming in. Hey. I do want to apologize in advance. My dog might bark if my mom walk in the house. So she ain't in time for visiting. So hold on, let me make sure they do it locked. I will lock somebody out of my house. Hold on.
No, you're good. All right, let me see. Oh, there she is. Oh, no, I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think I sent it to everybody. Make sure I didn't miss anyone. Okay, and then one more person. Ooh, I heard a puppy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I love it. I'm a dog mama too.
That might be my mom at the phone. Hold on 1 second.
No, you're okay. You are fine. Where's my other? Let's see. Thanks for hanging tight, everybody. I'm trying to share it with as many people as I can myself. So.
Ain't nobody out there, little boy. The grand ain't out there yet.
All right, I think that's everybody. Okay. Hey, Grinch. Hi, everybody. Hey, Coach Will. Hey, Massey. Welcome.
Hey, y'all. Okay, come on with your next. You ain't gotta waste nobody. You don't pay none. One bill.
It's like I'm here for the treats. Not for the talking, the treats. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got everyone I wanted to send it to on my end. Ooh, hold on 1 second. There's two more people. Let me make sure I get them. I think that's it. Okay. How are you doing this evening, Faye? I meant to see how you're doing today.
I'm doing okay. Doing okay.
It is Monday.
Yeah, Monday, yeah. Had a long day at work.
That part. Hey, Jean.
Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for the likes.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Let me get that in to us. Okay, I'm like, I know. Okay, where you coming back over here for? He got all the SNACK he need. He ain't getting them off.
Thanks for reposting, everyone. And And thank you for the likes.
Hey y'all, welcome in. I'm be getting started in a couple of seconds. So if you're just not coming in, or if you have to leave out the live for any reason, it will be uploaded on YouTube. I have a couple of interviews that I have to upload, so it might be sometime this weekend. I had a busy week. So thank y'all for the gift and thank y'all for the like. So we gonna get started in a couple of seconds. And again, I want to apologize if little Cujo decided to bark and go crazy, even though his name is Thickens. He got a little new name, Cujo.
We love Cujo. That's okay. I love Cujo. Let me speak for me.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go on and get started, y'all. Okay, so thank you for coming to Plastic with Faye. I appreciate you being here tonight. So we'll be discussing your book, For His Muse Only. So my first question to you, no, I'm sorry. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience, to the people who are on the live, who watching this live, who may be new to you or who may not?
Absolutely. Well, hello, everybody. I am Ada Afam. I am a psychological thriller drama writer. My first book that Faye introduced is For His Muse Only. I published that in 2024 of November, so that's almost 2 years now. Funny thing is, I had the idea for His Muse Only for 10 years in my head. So I'm 36 now. So I had the idea for His Muse Only in my head while I was in college. And I was really scared to even brainstorm it until I don't know where it was in my career. I was still in education. Something just told me, take a chance. And because I guess I don't know. I just wanted to see what would happen. And I'm very happy I did, because the fear of not knowing what would happen if I never even tried was just too great. And I just had to put it out there. And so I've just always been into psychological thrillers in general, just thrillers that really test the human condition of mental illness and what it looks like when you don't face those demons and that trauma that really haunts you. And that's just something I've always been about. And for me to just take a chance at it and have it be as successful as it's been so far, I'm just really grateful. But I mentioned I used to work in education. I used to teach special education for 10 years as well. And then I went ahead and did something different in education. That's a little bit more behind the scenes, which allows me to have time to actually write. So I'm also thankful for the career change with that. And so because of that, I've just been able to publish 3 books so far. And yeah, that's about it. So.
Okay. And then when we did, okay, well, you already gave because my question was, what inspired you for His Muse Only? You already gave the introduction, which is perfect, so we got that question out the way. Okay, so I want to talk about the title. The title for a minute, the word, when you think of the word muse, what does it mean to you personally?
Ooh, that is a good question. Okay, so for me, a muse invokes inspiration just by what it seems like existing. So let me start with the FMC. The FMC is Patience Okoye. She's a special needs teacher who is in a very interesting part of her life. And she is Harlan's muse. And Harlan is the art professor who she encounters at a professional development meeting. And he decides to classify her as his muse. And the idea of muse is to invoke some sort of inspiration, whether not just art in the sense of painting, but like music, lyrics, whatever that just has that creative space. And you just rely on that person's existence to draw that out of you. And like Jean said, it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it because I think the thing about creative spaces, they could be amazing, right? They could take you all type of places and travels. But when you let it overtake you, that's when things get really scary and really blurry when it comes to boundaries. And that is the absolute definition of Harlan and Patience's dynamic. And that's where, for me anyway, the definition of muse comes from.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, yeah, okay. That makes sense, especially with the way Harlan character is. But we gonna get into a little bit into that, but it's gonna be
Excited.
a follow free interview, so I don't want to give away no follow for the people who may not have read it yet. They're gonna have to read it. It feels like the way we did. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so I want to talk about patient for a minute because early in the story, we introduced a patient and we learned she married to a veterinarian. As you were building her character, what did you want readers to understand about her life and marriage and everything to begin before everything began to unravel?
Oh, yes. So for patients, I guess one thing I will say is the main theme of my books delve into the day in the life of a morally great character, and that is exactly what Patience is. With Patience, if you haven't picked up on the clue in her name, sometimes she requires a bit of patience because you get to understand that she makes certain decisions that might catch the reader off guard if you're not paying super close attention to the family dynamic that she's currently in. Not just her family dynamic, but her work dynamic too.
Yeah.
With the sense of control that she seeks for, she doesn't she doesn't really appear to have it all together as she tries to at work. And that's something you'll see evident when you compare her work life with her marriage life, like you brought up. And then with her being married to a veterinarian who's, again, he plays by the rules, he does everything by the handbook. Someone who is a complete different, cut of cloth from what Harlan is, you start to see that there is a bit of a wall there, and she's screaming for more. There's more to life than just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, do the dishes, do the chores, all that. And when we're not facing what that is, when we're not dealing with the inner turmoil that we clearly have, that's when we start leaking bits of self-deprecation and self-fulfilling prophecy of getting in each other's way when it comes to just pursuing for happiness. And with Patience, it's very hard sometimes to watch her kind of flounder and not know what it is that she's seeking for, especially when you see that she's clearly avoiding something. She's avoiding. You already know. And I think when Harlan comes in, it's so unfortunate because he comes in at the wrong time, but at the same time at the right time, because it takes that key puzzle to say all the right things to seem like Mr. Wonderful, that you're not seeing the red flags in front of you.
Yeah.
That is all Harlan is red flags. And I think, and I'm not going to go into that too much with Patience, it's when the reader starts to see that she has a lot that she has to tunnel herself out of, which is why she is the way she is with her overbearing mother, and the foundation of always feeling like she's not good enough. And that's what I mean by always getting in her own way. Yeah. Yes, Jean. Yes, Panther.
Yeah. I could definitely say that about with Patient, because especially in the beginning, you kind of start off with how their marriage looked. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a perfect marriage. We get that. We all know every marriage is not perfect, but she want to go to work, she want to come home, she want to clean house, which is okay with some people, but it's like she had an issue with Obi because he was a veterinarian. Now, being a veterinarian requires a lot more details. Would it be like a regular doctor? Like regular doctor, they be on call 24/7. Just like a veterinarian, it depends on what type of veterinarian they are. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they have. I can't speak because I don't know what veterinarian do, because I ain't dated nobody with one. I just know they did take care of fur babies. I know they take care of little cool Joe. That's all I know. But far as that goes, you could tell the dynamic was different. He cared about the fur babies of the parents, and he really cared about the animals and everything else. But it's like, I want to ask you this: what make you put them two together? Because it seemed like I want to say it wasn't like a perfect match, opposite attract, because the work that he does and the work that she does, it completely different. Like she wasn't understanding in a sense what his profession entails. So what made you bring them together? Like instead of just any other profession where it could be understandable, it's like you could tell it's some conflict.
Yeah, so one thing I forgot to mention is I'm Nigerian American, and so in the African community, Nigerian community, I think one thing that Patience's mom does bring up is profession being a high factor in Obina status. And initially, they did both meet in college. They did both go to the same universities. Yes, they study different things. But what was really evident about Obina is having the message in his head that be a provider, and then a husband, and then, two and two together. And whether it be something that was not necessarily like your typical romance where there's passion all the time and wine and dine, flowers, whatever, it was practical. And then that practicality kind of came through with their love of anime and comics and just being nerds in college. And that was the thing that bound them. So like you said, Faye, it could be on either side of the coin. Oh, they fell in love in college. What brought them together is that they're both, black nerds. Okay, fine. But then the other side of the coin says, well, they fell in love in college, but you could tell that they eventually grew up, and maybe they grew up into two different people. Maybe. Yeah. And so maybe they're not the best together anymore. So those are two perspectives that, readers have brought to my attention as well. The main premise I wanted, though, was for the readers to decide for themselves, do they think Patience and Obina do have a love that might need a little bit of work, which is fine because in relationships are give and take, that is expected, or is it an obligation? Is it something that, okay, one of them needs to walk away from it because it's clearly not working and they're hurting themselves more than helping themselves? And that's something I don't want to confirm because there is the sequel and then there's a book after that. But it is something I want readers to kind of do their own research on when they read and look for crumbs and clues in For His Muse Only, because that could be it too. It might not be love. It might be an obligation. It might be just cultural expectations. Who knows? So
yeah. Okay. One thing I want to say about Patient and Obi, like the beginning of the relationship, she thought that Obi was cheating because she was very close with one of his coworkers, which I get. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, I also want to talk about is, it seemed like he wasn't really emotionally there for her in a sense. Sometimes us women, we could be in a relationship with somebody and we don't feel emotionally connected to that certain person. And you know what I mean? It could be physical connection, emotionally, not physical. We know they're physical, attracted to each other. But it's deeper than what the surface lies in between them two, because like it made me question, okay, what is going on between OB and Patience? Because it wasn't on a surface level, but you could tell it was something deeper between them two. And cause he always constant, always on the go, doing it and doing that. But even though Patient and Obi did deal with, I'm just gonna say something traumatic that happened.
Something, yeah.
I'm gonna say something traumatic.
Yeah.
And my thing is, hey AJ, my thing is, when we go through something traumatic like that, people tend to deal with things differently than what the other person may deal with. I may deal with that situation in different ways than the other person. Some people don't know how to process what they go through, and I think that's a lot of problems is, like sometimes in marriage or in a relationship. But if you're ready to preach, you know why I'm saying it. But because it's hard to be in a relationship with somebody and that person don't understand how you feel, but then also it's very important that you communicate with your partner how you really truly feel. Because I feel like with Patience, she never really opened up to Opie about that situation that occurred. It's like she just like, why he not being the lover that I am with it, how I'm feeling, but not everybody gonna be like it. If I'm making sense.
No, that does make sense. And it's interesting that you say that because so when we focus on Priya, which is Obi's childhood friend, she was kind of a mixed bag with readers. So some readers were like, okay, this is just a childhood friend who's ride or die for Obi and just wants the best for him, all that. Other people were like, I don't know about Priya, because regardless, even if they're just friends, why is it that Obi seems to be comfortable to drop everything at the drop of the hat for his so-called childhood friend, whether it's platonic or not? But when you see your wife just asking you to stay home for maybe an extra hour or two, have someone else cover the case, you don't have to take all these hours. There's not even so much of a fight about it. It's I can't do it. I can't do it. And so that's where it's that breakdown in communication really comes from assumptions. Assumptions are the worst thing that could ever happen in just any relationship, because you don't even make the attempt to clear the air or just kind of fix the broken bridge of communication, because you're assuming they don't care. But for all you know is they don't know what you're asking. And there's a lot of that, and not just patience, but in Obi's side too. And like you said, I don't want to go into spoilers, but it's mainly the chapter Try Again. Their initial reaction when she comes home first thing after work, that part kind of, people were split and knew from there on, oh, I'm definitely team patience from here on out, or I'm definitely team Obina from here on out. And I think that was where it kind of depends on the perspective of the reader and what they've went through with their partners when it comes to lack of communication. So yeah, it's just funny how Try Again, that's the chapter where people have decided, oh, I'm definitely team Obi from here on out, or I'm definitely team patience from here on out. So it's very interesting.
I could see where some readers have mixed reviews about Pure. But my thing is this: when I look at it, like from my point of view, I'm gonna look at it from my point of view. Pure, okay, yes, she's a very good friend to Obi. But my problem is with Obi is the fact that if you know your wife has some type of issue and she's feeling some type of way about your best friend, but you're not telling your best friend that, hey, my wife feeling some type of way, we need to get her back. It may not, or something, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody and your significant other have a best friend, whoever the case may be, they could be tight. I mean, it could be best friend tight, whatever the case may be. It's your boss responsibility to put that person in their place. Like, hey, we're not doing it. My wife is uncomfortable. You see what I'm saying? Obi never did that, so that's why patients feel like, okay, something going on between y'all two. Y'all a little bit closer. But Obi didn't tell patient, he just told patient, okay, whatever, you just make an assumption, but no. But if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody or married to somebody, you gotta make sure that the person that you with and that they is confident in y'all as a couple. You know what I'm saying? Because when you allow outside person to come in, whether it be best friend or not, and you don't put them in their place, they gonna keep doing and they gonna keep overstepping boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just automatically assume. Because I tell people all the time, if I'm in a relationship with you, I said, listen, I don't care who you friends with. Before me, they were before me. But one thing I'm gonna say is, if they get too comfortable for me, they gonna let me know you continue to allow that person to overstep their boundaries. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them know, hey, my girl's not comfortable with this. If they person keep doing that, then I'm gonna ask you, hey, you need to consider your friendship with that person. Or just say something about like, hey, this is not happening. But Obi never did that. She never gave patient the clarity, the assist of security in their relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't no security in their relationship at all.
Yes. And that's the disconnect that unfortunately kept getting more and more distorted, and let someone like trusty old Harlan come in and just sink his hooks. Man. It was a lot.
I'm just reading the comments, see if I'm missing anything. Okay. Yeah, that's just how I feel. I think that's why a lot of people wasn't on Team Prayer, because how close she was with Obi. But I understand it, because I have a really. Cause I tell my male friends all the time. I say, listen, if you're in a relationship with somebody, let me know.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna step back out of respect for you. I'm gonna fall all the way back. You know what I'm saying? I might text you every now and then to, hey, how you doing? But I don't want the person that you're with to ever feel like they're gonna have insecurity because of me, because how
Right.
tight we are. You know what I'm saying? Because some
Right.
people, to this day, some people don't know how to do that. Some people just overstep and just like, no, you can't do that. I understand y'all best friends. You knew them before you got with them. I get that wholeheartedly. But it's just a respect thing of the other person that they with. You don't want to cause insecurity in that person's mind, because I don't be questioning every time, like, y'all too close to me. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because other women, we have the intuition, like, but y'all fucking, you know, that's why I'm being. I'm a straight up.
I
I'm
mean, it's a
at.
natural go-to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
assumptions, don't make them. Actually
Yeah.
clear things up and have a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely would say that. Okay. I definitely want to talk about Patience, because Patience is a special education teacher. She
Yes.
pours so much love into encouragement of children who learn their own unique way.
She
Why
does.
was it important for you to make that such a big part of her identity? And do you think those qualities influence how she handled the challenge that she faced outside the classroom?
Well, I did that in the sense of there was a quote that Stephen King said that I really liked, which is authors write about what they know in order to develop authenticity. And for authenticity, for me, I was a former special education teacher, and that was what I knew. And so to create that realistic environment for patients, it was what I was familiar with. And that was just ultimately what I decided for her. I could have done research and made her a nurse or an engineer, but it just wouldn't feel as raw to me because I don't know. I just didn't feel like doing the extra research. So I just wrote about what I knew. And so with that, I felt because of me making that choice, the relationship with the students in our class was something that readers, I was very thankful to hear that they really enjoyed. And especially the dynamic with various student personalities. We know about Dominic, and then Nyla and Grayson and how they come into the fold and how they test patience a little bit. But in the end, they trust and respect and love her. And this is the only place throughout the book, because again, my book is a heavy book. This is the
Yeah.
only place where I feel like it's light, it's safe, it's where she feels at home, and it's most importantly where she feels like she has a safe amount of control. It's a
Yeah.
healthy amount of control. And the irony is that she is a behavioral needs special education teacher. That is her main specification. But as you see throughout the book, a little bit of her behavior needs a little bit of modifying too. And
Yeah.
so that was definitely intentionally done because it's a lot of outside looking in. She it's her job to modify and control the behaviors of kids in her classroom before doing that for her own moods and behaviors because of the stuff that she's not dealing with. And in her head, that's how she's able to exert power and feel a sense of agency in her life. Unfortunately, not within her marriage and among other things. So I hope that answers your question. I felt like that was a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
long-winded,
yeah.
but
No,
okay.
it did. It did. I definitely understand it. I understand why you did it. It makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, because I want to talk about Grayson for a minute.
Oh
Because
my God.
I had reached out to you. I told you I said,
You
listen,
did.
Grayson is the one that, to me, Grayson is the one that made the book. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, I
Grayson,
will take it.
out of all the characters, Grayson was my favorite one.
Oh, my baby.
'Cause
Yeah.
I love me some little Grayson because his little personality with you, I'm his little personality is just it's something else, okay? Cause he like one of them little bubbly, loving little child, like you just can't help but love. And one thing I love
Absolutely.
about Grayson, when she tried to ask him, "Hey Grayson, do you want to do a science project with me?" He's like. You just, oh, why you asking me that? Because them other dumb children can't do it. I think, that's the other thing she special education teacher. I want to say, what kind of disability little Grayson have? Because his little
Oh,
personality
it's
and the way he just talk, it don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought, okay,
mhm.
he one of them little children. They're very, very smart. Like,
Mhm.
they don't. I'm like, okay, Grace is the one to be looking out for, because his little
Yes.
personality is just top tier. I could just say that. Okay, so let me ask you this: what inspired his character? What inspired Grayson? And what do you hope we to take away from those moments that he shared with patients?
If I'm being real, definitely 2 to 3 students that I used to teach come to mind, and that was what inspired his character. Grayson is diagnosed with ODD, and that's oppositional defiant disorder. And from people who are not familiar with what that looks like, that might just look like talking back or just being blatantly rude, no matter how much you're trying to be kind and understanding and just trying to strike up a conversation. There's a good chance you're not going to get that back, and you're just going to get back sass. And what it is, though, is something that is just a defense mechanism to coax them. And in other words, with that, it's what is embedded in him, because that's how he knows to communicate. And it's not just what's within him and what's within his DNA, it's what his background is as well, and what he's been exposed to. With a student with Grayson, with countless disappointment and moments where he's just been let down in life, that's all he knows. Biting back is all he knows. And so when he sees someone like Patience that's like challenging him and saying, "Hey, you don't have to do that with me. You don't have to put your
Yeah,
guard up. This is a safe space, regardless of what you've been told in the past, to where people would say that one minute and then, let you down. That's not what this is. You can be yourself in here." And that's something that Grayson kind of finds like a foreign language. It's something that does not compute. So it takes him a while to actually believe her. And
yeah,
with that, I think that's just a lot of students with the same disorder, to where they just need a lot of routine, a lot of reminders that, hey, I'm a person that cares about you. I'm a person that, this environment is a space where you can let down those walls. They just need a lot of reminders in the standard typical kiddo that this is an okay place for you to let your guard down. And I think with Grayson, he does illustrate understanding, empathy, and kindness really does go a long way. And it might not look the way you're used to, but everyone's life experiences are different, especially Grayson's.
yeah. Great. Okay, okay. I could definitely see that. Okay, so I want to say, I try to word the question correctly. Okay, we just gonna say. No, I'm not gonna ask. I'm gonna just ask the whole question, because it's gonna kind of give it away.
Okay.
So it's gonna question. Okay, let me just give it. Okay, let's get into Harlem for a minute. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so when he and Patient had first met, there's definitely some tension, and Patient isn't immediately drawn to him. We're gonna say that.
Hmm.
Why was it important for you to have the relationship start that way? And what did you want readers to notice about Harlan during that first encounter that may not seem significant until later?
Absolutely. So the thing is about these manipulators, these charmers, these people who use their abilities to kind of worm their way in to those who are kind of going through something. They don't, it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. They don't start off crazy off the bat or whatever, or
Yeah.
alarming off the bat. It is a slow burn. And with Harlan, he the type of questioning style he does is, you give an inch and I'll take a mile. And that's the only way I feel like I could explain their relationship in the most visual way possible. Patience gives an inch, Harlan tries to take a mile. With his type of questioning about, like, I'll give one example because I don't think it's giving too much away. When he makes a comment about a wedding ring being really expensive, and she's like, "Wait, what? That's weird. Why are you making a comment like that out loud? Like, what am I supposed to say to that?"
Yeah, yeah.
But then he immediately kind of brushes it off like, "Oh, I'm just talking. We're just having a conversation. No big deal. Relax." It kind of has her kind of do a double take like, "Wait, oh, am I exaggerating? Am I making it too much of a big deal?" Because that's how he is. The way Harlan works is he tests boundaries to see how much he can get away with. And then before you know it, he's taken over your whole aspect of life. And I think a statement that comes to mind is one that my mom said to me is, you teach people how to treat you. I don't know. She said that when I was 10, and whatever about that sentence just kind of stuck with me. You teach people how to treat you. And moving forward, that kind of illustrates the cautionary tale that Harlan McCandless is. And when you see someone like him coming, those red flags start to get more and more charming until you realize that he starts taking over your job, your interests, your style of clothing, and then there's nothing left, and it's just all him, and you start to wonder, how did I miss it? And then just the whole aspect of never make yourself uncomfortable just to make others comfortable. And that was something that Harlan also kept doing as well. And I think the thing I like asking readers is, name the instance you realized Harlan was a red flag. And it's really interesting how many different answers I got. So I got answers that didn't even say the red flags were spotted, weren't even at the first meeting. The first meeting, they thought Harlan was cool. He just played a cool guy, chill, kind of debonair, whatever. Some people caught red flags in the museum chapter. Some people caught red flags in, obviously, Night at Marcos. But it's just really interesting how the red flags were caught in different stages of the book from different readers. And so I just thought that's another example of it really depends on experience and what the reader perceives as a red flag overall.
Yeah. I would definitely say the red flag was for me when she went to the event that he had and he kind of embarrassed her. That was like the red flag for me. From the very beginning, that's the red flag. Because why would you invite this lady out to an event and embarrass her like that in front of everybody?
Yes.
And my thing is, when I found out that she got one, I'm like, what the fuck for? Like, why? Like, why? I mean, what is it about him? Because I'm like this. Because I want to give you one chance. Mm-hmm. Because for you to embarrass me like that in front of everybody, and you did what now? Oh, no. That's the red flag for me from the very beginning. Because I ain't no damn way. Because I would have been... And then she questioned it like, I want to say, patient, really? That man embarrassed your ass. In front of everybody, full of warmer people. And you just, like, you don't see the red flag from the beginning?
There's an argument, though, that is it that she doesn't see the red flags or she chooses not to see them because of the attention that he gives her that her husband is clearly not? That
may be true, but she had that damn desperate. But I mean, you know what? This is the bush she had. This ain't even real life. This is the book. Don't about to realize that this is the fictional character. This ain't no real life. Well, somebody actually might be going through this in real life. It really ain't funny, but I'm just, for the book site, it's just fictional character. But I mean, I'm just saying, because there would have been a red flag. I mean, I just don't know.
No, I definitely see that too.
I don't know. This I just gotta say. What you gonna say? Okay, so I want to talk about a little bit. Okay, Obi became more emotionally distant. Mm-hmm. Now, in Patient Mind, Obi became more emotionally distant because he really wasn't there like that per se, like how she wanted it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Lee. As Obi became emotionally distant, Patient found herself confined in Harlan more and more. Mm-hmm. Do you think Harlan recognized that vulnerability and intentionally used that to his advantage? Or do you think he felt for Patient that are genuine before things took a different turn?
I think it could easily be a mix of both. In his head, and I stress this part, in his head, he probably thought he was being genuine. In his head, he probably thought he was offering her all these opportunities to express herself because he saw that she was clearly not given the opportunity to really flourish in that part of her life, which is self-expression. Yeah. But it could be both truths in the sense of because he saw that himself, giving her an opportunity to do these things, that he was owed her attention, owed every bit of her waking minute dedicated to him. And because of that, he utilized all that for his benefit, not caring about what that serves for her and bettering her mental illness and battling any other things that she's clearly not dealing with. If it wasn't to serve Harlan, he didn't give it. He didn't care. He
Yeah.
didn't care. And that's where, someone like Harlan, I try to market my books as a cautionary tale, meaning that the main character is dealing with bouts of generational trauma, and because of that, she doesn't make ideal choices. So frustration is definitely guaranteed. If that's not your thing, then I don't think my books are for you. But if that is your thing, and if you like catching clues as to what happened along the way to this person's life to make them so destructible, then yeah, I'm all for it. I minored in psychology in college, and that was another thing that kind of made me feel inspired to write characters of Obina and Patience and Harlan, because it's a lot of unpacking. It is a lot of unpacking. It's a lot of layers, but it's the human condition that really tests who we are as people and what makes us these characters that are so complex. And I live for that. I love it, and I love when readers actually point out things that I didn't even notice, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll run with that. It's a lot of fun writing about. So
Yeah. Okay, this one I want to ask you, because I'm gonna ask the people that's on the live if they have any questions. This one I want to ask you. Okay, so I know there's book 2 and book 3. So book three is out.
yes,
No?
it's already out.
Okay, it's already out. Okay, so I haven't read book 2 or book 3 yet. So this is my question: do we get a background of Harlan of why he is the way he is, or no?
We sure do.
Okay. I'm just going to figure out why he is the way he is. Okay, so the reason why I asked that is because when we read Harlan, for me, I like when authors start off characters like that, because I always wonder, because there's something deeper for that person to be the way they are. Because I always say who we are as an adult is a direct reflection of our childhood. I'm a huge believer in it. So I was like, okay, something happened to him for him to be the way that he is, the way his mindset is. It could be overnight. Things can happen to you overnight. You just change just like that. You can change at any given moment. But sometimes it can start when you're younger, and it just, slowly progress. But it may not progress through your childhood, but slowly progress as an adult. So therefore, okay. So that made perfectly good sense. Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm glad we kind of get a little backstory.
Yes, ma'am.
Of Harlan. So okay. So do anybody on the live have any question they want to ask us? Listen, we got a lot of questions to go. So thank y'all for the gift.
Yes. Thank y'all so much. I saw a question earlier by Tay. I don't know if he's still here, but I'll go ahead and answer it. Do the characters talk to me? And that is definitely the case. Yes. I feel like sometimes my characters do advocate for themselves and speak for themselves. Like, I can't tell you how many times I rewrote certain things that Harlan says, because I would feel like, that doesn't sound like something he would say. Or I feel like he'd be a little bit more slick than that. He wouldn't react so abruptly. And the thing with the audiobook, because that's one thing I forgot to mention. I do have the audiobook for the first book only right now. I do plan to film for the sequel sometime later on this year. I actually had a conversation with the narrator who does Harlan's voice, Dan Criswell, and there was a subtle what made his voice stand out was the subtlety in when he chooses to get angry and reactive. And I think it's those moments where he fails to control patience. And that, yes, when he sees those moments, like, all right, she's not buying my BS, I gotta scream and scare her back into submission or whatever. I think moments like that, when we advocate for our characters, that's when we start to see them as more than words on paper. And I think that's truly what makes the author, in the sense of, okay, this character speaking up, they feel like they wouldn't speak in this way, so let's change it. And I did that a lot for him, especially because of the psychological component behind his behind his whole beginning, middle, and end setup for Harlan. So
Okay. Phyllis asks, what was your process for writing and advice for writers?
oh my gosh, yes. So don't write in order. I mean, I don't know if anyone here does. If you do, and if it does work for you, that's great. For me, when I started to try and write my book in order, it took forever. It wasn't until I realized, like, okay, let me write chapter 2, and then tomorrow I'll write chapter 8, and then I'll write chapter 5, and then write chapter 12, and then eventually I'll loop it all together and then create a big outline poster board and make sure I double check for plot holes. That was when I started seeing things moving, because believe it or not, I actually wrote the ending of For His Muse Only first. That was the first thing I wrote, was the ending to For His Muse Only. And then I started piecing it all together, because ideas are just that. They're ideas, and they don't come in any specific order. So
Yeah.
because of that, like, just jot it down before you forget it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times where I would have an idea in the middle of the night, and then I went to sleep, and then I forgot it the next day. I thought, never again. I'm gonna have my phone glued to my hand, pull up Google Docs, and write it down before I forget.
Yeah,
and get
yeah.
sleepy. So yeah, I definitely don't write in order, and I just write the first thing that comes to mind, and then I'll fluff it out later. So yeah, no big deal.
Okay, okay. So I want to ask this: as the story progresses, Patience and Harlan starting to begin spending more and more time together. From my perspective, as a reader, Harlan gave Patience something that she had might be missing for a while. He made her feel seen, heard, emotionally validated in ways she wasn't getting from Obi. At the same time, Patience had convinced herself that Obi was cheating with one of his colleagues, even though that wasn't actually the case. And so, do you think Patience's assumptions about Obi made her more emotionally vulnerable to Harlan, or was she already longing for that connection long before Harlan came into the picture?
I believe the first part, reason being, and you'd be surprised who I say had a handout in it, and that's Patience's mother. From the get-go, when Patience was born, she already had a setback, which is a mother who wasn't dealing with her own trauma, which we will find out why in the sequel. Her mom being verbally abusive set her up to feel the number one phrase that has been repeating in Patience's mind: you are not good enough. You are not good enough for Obina. You are not good enough for Obina's family. You are simply not good enough. That, on top of the fact that her mom was really overbearing while Patience was growing up, made Patience have this really strong knee-jerk reaction of arrested development in her late 20s, early 30s, which was just doing what she did, jumping ship in her marriage, and just going for it very impulsively. That's the thing with Harlan. The tether he has to Patience creates this impulsive chain of reactions that I know my readers were blowing me up on my phone like, Ada, why? And I was like, I know. It was just something she had to get out of her system. Because when you're told to do the right thing over and over and over again, go to school, get the perfect partner, do all the things, and everything works out, and it doesn't work out. And then you see someone offering you all these promises of, hey, you can do all these fun things with me. If you're tired of the rut you've been in, it's going to be a lot more appealing to do. And that's kind of where all those impulsive reactions come from when it comes to Patience and Harlan. And so it's not a matter of her not loving Obi. It's a matter of needing, in a twisted way, loving herself and bringing attention to herself, because she's been deprived for so long. And so her mom, unfortunately, did have a hand in that, not just Obi. Because I think a lot of people want to focus on Obi. Oh, Obi pushed her in the arms of another man. Her mom didn't help much either. So.
Okay. So since you said that, we have a little background of the patient mother, but I can't see why patient may feel like Obi wasn't fully invested in her, or she feel like they wasn't invested in their marriage. But at the same time, when you have a parent who constantly telling you stuff, because we tend to grow up, whatever our parents tell us, that is truth. It's no lie. It's truthful until we get older, and then we realize, wait a minute, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? So you tend to, when we young, they were already fun. But as you get older and you make self conscious, you realize, okay, no, this ain't true. I am worth there something. I am worth their love. I am worth their that. But when you constantly hear it, it's always in your mind. Like no matter what you do or how you do it, it's automatically gonna be in your mind. So I could definitely understand why she feel like that towards Oben, why it kind of draw her more to Harlan, because Harlan gave her the attention that she may not really have gotten from Ob in a sense, because the way her mother instilled in her mind, every time you turn around, Harlan made sure that she knew that, hey, you worth it, you did, you know what I'm saying. He gave her the opposite for what Obi really didn't really tell her. But I'm gonna say this. But sometimes people get in a relationship with people and they don't know the backstory of what people actually been through. So it's kind of hard to be in a relationship with somebody and then you don't know the full background unless they're willing to be open up, to be seen and be heard. I'm about making sense.
No, you're making perfect sense. And actually, what you're describing reminds me. Okay, does anyone watch the show P Valley or has heard of the show P Valley?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a particular couple that is very Harlan and Patience coded. If you watch P Valley, then you know exactly what couple I'm talking about. This person is another give and take where the woman in the relationship, she gives an inch and he takes a mile. And with Harlan, he makes it so appetizing when it comes to attention and just coddling all this emotion to her. And that's exactly what the boyfriend in that relationship does. And in that specific scenario, they have children, so it's a little bit more complex and actually unfortunate. So with Patience, I think with her, it takes a while for her to have that moment where she can't lie about her situation anymore. It's bad. She no longer sees herself in the relationship with her and Harlan. And it's when she no longer sees herself, she starts to plot, a way to get out. And when we hit rock bottom is when we could truly save ourselves. Yeah. And that's where those psychological thriller components come in. How much do you wrestle within yourself to save yourself? Yeah, I agree, Tay. Bring P Valley back. That's a side note.
Okay. I want to talk about the scene at the bar because Obi and the friends decided to go to this bar, right? And Patient was kind of like, oh Lord, okay, we're going to go to the bar with Harlan. What? She tried to call Harlan. Harlan couldn't answer the phone because she was at work trying to deal with other people, right? Mm-hmm. So, my question, even though she tried to reach Harlan, but when they got there, Harlan saw, her Patient with Obi, with her husband and the friends and everything. So when they got to the bar, so Obi gave her the card, right? So Obi said, get whatever at the bar.
Yeah, I know.
But she decided to charge the most expensive item on the bar. And so Obi kind of got upset.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say, I'm going to say this. So when it came to that situation, her and Hart, like, she just left Obi to go entertain Harlan for whatever reason. And then once she did that, they went into the broom closet, whatever, did what grown folks were doing. And so Pilla decided to come around the corner looking for, I don't know what made her look for Patient, but decided to come look for Patient, and then she actually heard, the noise and everything that's going on. And then she, once she did that, once she did that, she waited she kept knocking on the door, you know what I'm saying? And then Harley trying to get her go away, but for some reason, Pure just like, I'm going to be no to say. So, my question to you is, why you feel like Pure was too busy watching what Patient was doing instead of one about her and her own business? Why you think that she did it? Because I think, for me as a reader, like, why you worrying about what somebody else is doing? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, in a sense, for me, it's almost like it made me question is something really going on between her and Obi more than what they claim to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because why are you so concerned about what she doing? You see what I'm saying? Even though there wasn't your place,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So why she did that? 'Cause I'm just curious.
Okay, so Priya is someone who I personally wanted readers to keep scratching their heads when it comes to her. What are her motives, right? In the club, you do see moments where she does try to make Patience feel welcome. The only problem is Patience suffers from social anxiety. So because Priya is such an extrovert, every time she tries to include her in the social jokes, like, "Hey, Patience, what do you think, Patience? Isn't that funny, Patience?" And Patience is like, "Leave me out of it." It's just not going to work. Some people vibe, and some people don't. That's just the way it is. Now, with that instance with her and Harlan, and confronting Patience when she comes out, that was a pivotal moment for in Priya's mind to defend her childhood friend. This, from what she says, this is her brother. This is family, and I would like everyone in the comments to even in putting yourself in Priya's shoes. If you catch your best friend or family member's significant other in the closet and obviously up to something they shouldn't be doing, they come back out. Are you telling? Regardless of how much it hurts their feelings or not, yes or no. And then the other side of it is, but this is a whole completely different this is a married couple. This is married business. It is not in my place. And so that's where the conflict rises. Which offense outweighs the other offense? That is the question. And that is something that I still to this day get mixed answers about, to where it's 50-50. Some people will say, "Oh, I'm telling. That's my homeboy. That's my best friend. That's my brother. I'm telling." Other people are like, this is weird because this is a married couple. I shouldn't be so involved in this. I'm uncomfortable." It's really the reader's perspective and also their personal experiences when it comes to infidelity and how strongly they feel about it too. So I feel like there's not a perfect answer. It depends on the reader.
Okay. Because the only thing about it, let me see. I'm gonna add the question. The name of the book is For His Muse Only.
For His Muse Only, Missy. Thank you for asking. It's on the Zon, it's on KU, and it's also in audiobook, male and female duet narration on Audible.
My thing is like with pure, cause I mean, like me, I know some people say they want to know if they see somebody out cheating or whatever the case they may be. But me, I feel like you just never know what their first true intention is. Like you gotta really know if they really telling the truth or not, or were they being really honest about what they saw. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like some people would just say what they say, but people, she heard what she heard, she saw what she saw. You know, I mean, she heard what she heard. But my thing is, she should have mind her own business. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause listen, that's just my opinion. She should have mind her own business. Because I feel like I'm a type of person, you grown. You know what I'm saying? You going to do what you going to do. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go back and tell nobody what's going on. And the fact that she actually left because she was so upset about what she saw, I'm like, you want to be nosy? I feel like when we go looking for something, you found something.
You don't want to find out, don't go look for it. Yep.
That's how I look at it. You want to go looking for something, you want to go be nosy, and you got your little feelings hurt, and you find a stack of what you was looking for. Even though it wasn't through our phone, but you went to go be nosy, so you got caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. She should have mind her own business and stayed over there with Obi and his little friend. Instead of going chasing behind somebody. I feel, you know what? But I digress.
That's the beauty about reader perspectives are also different based off of their own personal experiences and what they would do and what they find relatable. And so, yeah, it's always fun to hear it. As an indie author, I love it. So like just putting it out there, if you're reading a book from an indie author and you love it so much and you're just like, oh, I want to tell them I'm at a really good chapter, but I don't know, just do it. I promise y'all, we love it. We love it when you send us the messages. It makes our day like so much. Like It's amazing. So I just wanted to put that out there. It makes an indie author's day for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Give me 1 second.
No, you're fine. I am checking the comments myself. Ooh, at 27K likes, you guys. Thank you so much. Right, Felix? It does. I mean, because we put a lot into our books and our stories, and when you guys just randomly message us, it's not a bad thing about how much you're telling us about how much you like our books, our characters, and it encourages us to keep going. So just thank you guys so much, and thank you guys for being here. This has been a lot of fun. I could stay for hours if I could, just answering questions about my book. Right? I love it, Faye. Yes. Like, ooh, I did something. Right, Jean? I like interacting with my readers too. That's the fun part. It really is exciting.
Okay, I finally did. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Okay.
Welcome back.
Okay, so we already talk about OB Pure saw patient with OB, and she threatened to tell OB what she saw, right?
Yes.
But cause she was so OB ended up eventually finding out, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, why would you go to? I'm I'm gonna let y'all read it, but y'all gotta read it. But if you haven't read it, y'all gotta read it. But I'm sorry, let me just skip that whole conversation. Let me just skip this. Okay, I want to shift gear for a minute because to talk about Harlan. Because without giving too much away, I definitely want readers to experience the character for themselves.
Right.
Harlan is one of those characters who keep you questioning about his true intention. Exactly. When you were creating him, what did you want readers to feel every time he entered the scene?
Shady. Like, what is this guy about? And the thing is, out of all the characters I've done, I'm not sure if I said this already, I did the absolute most research on Harlan because it kind of started off with my interest in, I don't know if I have some Law and Order SVU fans in here, some Criminal Mind fans in here. All of that stuff I binge excessively because it's really the main demographic of that type of criminal, and it's someone who doesn't just come off scary or creepy right off the bat. They work at it. They make it a skill to bend people to their will and to their liking. And you get the Ted Bundys, you get the Jeffrey Dahmers, you get the Jim Jones, you get Harlan McCandles, because he's someone who, he doesn't just do this for the sake of just waking up one day to do it. It takes time to create a monster like that.
Yeah.
And Faye, you read the book, when you find out towards the end why Harlan is Harlan, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because the sequel, I will say, I can actually say that the sequel is the darkest I've ever wrote, in my opinion. And so we get more into why Harlan McCandles is the way he is, why he operates the way he does, and why Patience specifically is a target that he refuses to release. And with that, the dynamic of him and Patience is something that's complex because Patience is a Nigerian American, Harlan is a white Irish male. And when you think about their dynamic alone, when you really dig deep, you see why the things he says and does are like, really? I'm not rooting for this relationship. And the concept of privilege, especially with Harlan, is the reason why he's able to get away with all the things that he does with his multiple offenses on other women. And you guys will find that out. I'm not going to go into detail. You realize why privilege is something that these criminals benefit from in order to reoffend. And unfortunately, that is pretty, true to real life occurrences as well.
Yeah, okay. I definitely get that. So, okay. I want to talk about Harlan for a minute because there were several moments where I started to question his characters and his intention. Looking back, do you think Patience was so caught up in the way Harlan made her feel that she overlooked the red flag? from every beginning, or do you think she recognized the warning signs but consciously chose to ignore them because she finally felt seen, heard, and
Ooh,
understood?
that is a really good question. Dang. I feel like majority of the first one and a little bit of the second one. And I'll say why. Because um an impression readers might take from Patience as they're reading is a lot of how could she let that slide? Oh my gosh, is she serious? How could she be so stupid? But Patience is someone who really goes in a lot of battles in her own head. Those of you who read my book, we see how she has conversations with herself and how she tries to rationalize the irrational too. And with that, we start to see how she starts to make excuses as to why she's tolerating a lot of the uneasy tension that Harlan provides. These are the pros. He gave me an opportunity to express myself. He reintroduced my love of painting. He's introducing a life of excitement. But then when he's over time, the cons definitely outweigh the pros to where she can't lie about it anymore. Because I think it's more scarier to face the truth that her life is in danger versus, the latter, which is, hey, at least if I'm with him and he sees that I'm here, he won't hurt me to a place of no return. And so it's definitely a little bit of both, and it's more of her just also dealing with the guilt that maybe I deserve this. I did what I did to my husband. I wasn't truthful. I wasn't faithful. So I deserve this. So a little bit of self-loathing is in there. There's not one final answer, I guess is what I'm saying, as to why she chooses to put up with the stuff that Harlan puts her through. It's never just one answer with that type of stuff, when it comes to toxic relationships and why we stay versus making the opportunity to leave. Oh, thank you, Tay. Thank you,
That's
Fiona.
okay. he fucking at my mama forever reads a child.
Oh no. Maybe wants another snack.
Yeah, he fucking at her. Cause every time when she come visit, she makes sure he have a little Happy Meal, his chicken nuggets Happy Meal.
Ooh, chicken
And the
nuggets.
toy, he get the toy, the French fries, and a drink. We talking about 4-legged animal, y'all. 4-legged. 4 legs. A dog. She get a Happy Meal. I know you my baby. A Happy Meal.
Wow.
and, sometimes, and sometimes he don't even get a Happy Meal. She gonna give him a 10-piece nugget.
Whoa.
So anytime she move and get up, oh, he gonna follow right behind and bark at her. And she be like, why he barking at me? I'm like, I don't know, ask him. If he start talking, you and him can have this whole apartment because I am gone. Y'all can have this apartment together, baby. 'Cause I ain't staying here. This ain't talk. Okay, so I definitely want to. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. So when it comes to Harlan and Patience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Patience started to notice things about Harlan that make her stop and think this is normal. Like she get to the point where like, okay, this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
So he also introduced her to offensive situations that she probably would never explore. In your mind, once Patience began to recognize those signs, do you think she regretted letting the relationship get as far as it did, or was she already so emotionally invested that she felt like it was too late to turn back?
She definitely regretted it. And the mention on why is, oh no, hold on, that's a spoiler. I'll just say she definitely regretted it because you start to see her put the pieces of when she starts losing bits of her individuality. That's the big thing. She was no longer Patience. She was Harlan's Patience. And she didn't like that. Because it was all akin to serving someone else to the benefit of diminishing herself.
Yeah.
If you know that part, it's all good and well when you are in a relationship and you are with a partner. It's okay to go your all in serving your partner and all that if it's in a consensual way. The idea of consent is something that I purposely brought up as a theme for patients to examine and re-examine over and over again, because Harlan plays with that concept a lot. He plays with it in her face a lot. And the fact that there was a lot of it that was that was not honest or forthright with his intentions with her, that was something that she also regretted as well. Because again, it was not fully presented as factual of what she agreed to do in that relationship. And you could argue that, oh, Harlan was himself the whole time. She saw Harlan coming a mile away. Harlan didn't necessarily lie about who he was. He withheld certain parts of himself until he felt the time to reveal that. That's that's still not being honest, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, she definitely regretted every bit of that, and you know, the readers will definitely pick up on when she chooses to take a stand, because it's quite an experience. That's why I definitely talk about trigger warnings. Please do check your triggers. It's a heavy thriller, if anything. So yeah, I just thought I'd put that out there.
Okay, so I want to backtrack a little bit, because we got to see more of Harlan's personality when they went to the cabin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was somebody there that Harlan was familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody tried to warn patient. But patient being patient that she is, it's like she almost don't have no discernment, like reading cues, you know, like when somebody tell you something, they don't know how to read the room, basically. She don't know how to read the room. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, why you didn't start questioning? Because me, if somebody tell me something, like, I'm a type of person, if you tell me something about somebody, I'm going to take heed to it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm going to keep it in the back of my mind. Like, okay, let me just keep it in the back of my mind, whether you may be telling the truth or not. But at least I know I could be thinking. It's like, it just put one ear out the other. Like, she just, oh, okay, you know, we're Harlan, it's Harlan. You know, I ain't thinking anything about it. But I'm like, it's like she was so naive in a sense. You know what? I'm gonna ask you, because I'm gonna ask you this, because I could cuss my mama come, because she one of the people that you can't cuss. Let me ask you something. Do you think it's because the way Harlan was fucking her, that her mind was just gone? I mean, I had to ask that. I'm sorry. I had to ask that question.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's not a complete no. And then also, if you remember Patience, she kind of says at one point she chooses to reflect over what that person in Harlan's life mentions about another person that might go into who Harlan is. And she says, no, I'd rather not ask about it, because it means that everything I gave up in order to achieve this will go away. Yeah. So her thing is, she didn't want to give up any more than she's already lost. That's what it all comes down to be, because you could argue that, oh, she was really naive and didn't want to believe any of the bad things that were being said about Harlan, or, oh, she purposely refused to see the red flags. All in all, she lost a lot. She didn't want to lose anymore. And so she was going to just keep, you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad yet. It's not bad yet. And that was the belief she was going to stick with until she couldn't stick with it anymore.
Yeah. So. Jen said her lack of intimacy for Obi made the intimacy feel her heart. But I don't know why she hell. But some of them, you know what? Well, I can't be favorite, but you know what? We're talking about fictional characters. I keep forgetting these ain't real people.
That's the best part, though. You're invested. I love it. I love every bit of it.
It's like it's not real people. It's just fictional characters. Because I be like, baby, the dick can't be that damn good for you to be acting that coolest. And it's like the way, the time been there the whole entire time. You know what I'm saying? But I can't talk about it because I'm gonna end up giving away. So let me stay on track. Let me just stay on track. Okay. So let me just say this. When it came to, it was the incident where Harlan was laid up with somebody, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. And patient didn't question Harlan.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like, I'm like, why you not? Cause see, why you not questioning that? You know what I'm saying? Cause I'd be damn if I go on a damn trip with anybody,
Mm-hmm.
with my boyfriend. Let me find out. I'm going on a damn trip and you laid up with another woman.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Are we talking about Mabel?
Yes.
Mabel. Yes. Okay. All right. Um. Yeah, it kind of ties into what I mentioned earlier. If she asked about it, it was her being afraid of finding out something she didn't want to know. Kind of like what you mentioned about Priya. Don't ask if you don't want to know. And in Patience's mind, don't ask if you don't want to know. She
Yeah.
gave up her husband of a decade. She almost gave up all of her life at that point of the story anyway. So she didn't want to push it because if she were to push it, it would topple over and then she'd have nothing to show for it. And the thing about Patience, as much as she tries to exhibit control in her work life, she has clear abandonment issues. I mean, from the woodworks, stemming from her mom, the attachment she has to her best friend Naisa, who is an almost sister. You know, how she feels when Naisa is, you know, in another place away. If it's not Naisa she strongly attaches to, it's Obi. If it's not Obi, it's Harlan. It's the boundary for me when it comes to Patience. And it's because the whole overbearing mother taught her, if you don't seem lovable enough, no one's going to love you. And unfortunately, that's the generational curse that sticks to Patience that she has a hard time letting go. And so it's not really so much of a matter of how could she be so dumb to not see the signs. It's when she chooses to see the signs and when she chooses not to see them. That sticks her longer to Harlan than she probably should be.
Yeah, okay. Because my thing is, because like, with that situation, because I'm like, I'm just kind of, I would I'm in a confusing sense because I'm trying to understand patient mindset because why are you not asking? I'm like, it's like she would, I understand that, you know, not to ask questions. If you don't want to know the answer to, don't ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my nose, I don't want to know every damn thing. I'm gonna ask questions. I'm asking some questions. What's going on with this? The way the way she just walk it, the way you voted, the way like she just walk in the room, just like, oh hi, how y'all doing?
I know.
It
I
kills
know.
you. No, what the hell is going on? Like, you know, I'll be on 10, ready to fight. You know, have some bail money for me to get out of jail. That's what I'm just gonna say. Have me some bail money. It's gonna be attempted MURD or attempted assault charges or battery and it's gonna be all type of charges for me. Okay.
You could also argue, though, that the reason why she didn't ask is because she felt that she had no right to because of what she did to Obi. Who are you to get mad if he was stepping out on you with someone else when what you've clearly done to Obi? It's as if she probably doesn't have a leg to stand on. So that's another argument you could use as to why she didn't really push questioning that moment more than she could.
But she chose to step out on Obi. But the way you were fucking her, she had every right to ask a question.
This is true. Yep.
I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, she had every right to ask the question whether. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let me make sure I'm I have to give my mind together. Okay. So my thing is, even whether you're in a relationship, okay, she did what she did to Obi. Yes, she cheated with Obi. She feel like she had no right to act. But my thing is, if I'm sleeping with you every night, and the way you had them fucking like they were fucking like rabbits. I'm just gonna keep it weird. They were fucking like rabbits in that damn book. Okay, so my thing is, what you mean that she hadn't? I mean, you know, let me just keep it moving. Let me just keep the question moving.
I'm with Pantha. I'm agreeing with what Pantha says in the comments. I'm agreeing with that too. Punishing herself. Yep.
Punish yourself. Yeah. Okay. Let me just keep it going. Okay. So let me just say, there's a time where patient decided to reach out to someone, right? And I feel like she was already too late in the game to be really just started asking questions because my way could see in that situation where You know, I'm gonna be damn. Okay, let me just keep it moving because I feel like I'm gonna give it away. It's gonna give an idea of what that actually happened,
Oh
where she found
man.
out the aftermath of certain situation, right? It's the aftermath of certain
Yeah.
situation. I'm just gonna say that.
Ah.
I'm just gonna leave it like I'm just gonna leave it alone like that.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
just gonna
I
leave it
wanted to
alone.
answer. Okay.
Cause I don't want to give it away. Cause I want
No,
them to
I hear
read it
you. Yeah.
the way they get it. Okay, so it's like when patient decided to reach out to someone who knows Harlem personally because she encouraged to learn more about it. Somebody put in her little ear like, "Hey, do some research." I'm like, "About damn time, girl. You should have been did this long time ago."
I
But
know.
by digress. But if you feel like she haven't been pushing that direction, will she continue ignoring the signs and let things keep going the way they were?
Now that is a very good question. I think at some point down the line, what Harlan is a vampire. He drains the energy, the goodwill, the ambition from every single one of the victims he grooms, and at some point you either fight or flight. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't that particular scene that happened, it would have been something else, and it would have been up to patients to decide, okay, yeah, now is the time.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
is the time. So if it wouldn't have been this week, it would have been next week or a week after. But I eventually, at some point, we would have gotten some sort of aha moment to where I got to get away from this dude. And the scary thing about Harlan is there's very rare times when he blows up. So when he blows up, it's like, ooh, this is scary. Otherwise, he's spitting good game. He's always making the absurd nature just be chill and for you to relax, and that you're the one that's overreacting. And that is something that a lot of readers found unnerving and kind of triggering because of some of them might have, experienced something along the lines of that, or their loved ones have as well. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of give and take, but in a toxic way.
Okay. I also want to ask you this because when you were creating, we found out some secrets that describe Harlan as a person, and it made patient sit back and realize, okay, what I got myself into.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she regret ever meeting Harlan after she found out what she found out?
Ah, this is hard because I feel like if I answer this, okay, no, okay, no, she does not regret because it forced her to answer some deep rooted things that she had been avoiding for some time. And what Harlan is eventually described as a distraction. Harlan is a big old distraction from the life she's supposedly given to live, but because her and her husband went through this horrible thing, she's just been getting off track. And when Harlan comes around and tries to be this beautiful distraction that she's needed, she sees that all that glitters isn't gold. So
Yeah.
whenever she does what she does, she realizes that, oh, that is what I've been hiding from this whole time. And and me facing it, this is what I got out of it. So I don't want to say that she's thanking her abuser for seeing the light, but because she has that moment where she realizes that she was being distracted by Harlan, she was able to face certain things that should have been addressed a long time ago in order to fix her insecurities, her abandonment issues, and her self-loathing that has been definitely weighing her down. So I'll say it that way. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I was doing a lot of talking around circles, but yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Okay. So my question is, okay, so we found out towards the end between Harlan and Patient, right? Harlan and Patient, did something happen between them two?
Mm-hmm.
Something traumatic happened, so y'all gonna have to read it. I'm not gonna go too much into details about it. So, what was one of the hardest things? What was the hardest thing for you to write of how emotionally intense it became? And when you were writing it, did you ever wonder whether Patient was going to make it through everything she was facing, or did you always know how her journey would end?
I always knew how her journey would end, and so that's why, um, as dark as that one scene you're talking about is, I knew that this was the moment where I decided that no one's going to save her from this. No one, not Obina, not family members. It has to be all on her because that codependency was what was dragging her down. Depending on other people constantly for the sole purpose of happiness, what was pretty much what was bringing her down. It had to be all or nothing on the shoulders of Patience Okoye. So I knew on that moving forward that, okay, it's going to get dark before we get to the light of the tunnel, and hopefully readers would pick up on that. Again, my thriller series definitely is a dark one, but I don't write it for the sake of being of shock value or anything. I do try to write all of my thrillers with a lesson or a message to be learned. And that is prioritize your mental health. Prioritize your mental health. It's very important. And, therapy, doing things that make you happy, making sure that you're listening to your body when it's telling you to slow down or tend to stress. All of that is very essential because when you ignore it, that's when it comes out in unhealthy ways. And that is exactly what Patience illustrates from the beginning, middle, and end of the book is a cautionary tale in the sense of if you don't deal with your shit, it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Point blank. It's going to catch up with you. In the comments.
Thinking don't say it, she don't want to be saved. Yeah, basically that's true. Okay, what am I gonna say? Okay, so we get towards I'm gonna talk about towards the end of the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Harlem somewhere, and Patience decided to go visit him. I don't know what for.
I already know.
I don't know what for. Do you think? Without giving away too much, do you think she, in her mind, that she was searching for closure, or do you think she was trying to reclaim her power?
Ooh, both. That's a flat out both. Closure in the sense of removing those hooks from her and being able to not close her eyes and be afraid of getting another nightmare of him. And in that turn, that's how she reclaims her power back. But the thing is, it was up to Patience to finally come to the realization of, duh, that's what he wants you to do. Do you not see the pattern now? And, just because she feels that she's physically at a distance from him towards the end of the book, psychologically, that's going to take a lot of years to unlearn in your system. When you're in a toxic relationship with somebody, they have these behaviors that are embedded in your system. And so when you physically part from that someone, that doesn't switch off overnight. In that one particular scene, there's quite a bit of time that passes. He's still in the vicinity of how she thinks because of what he's put her through. So because of that, that's the reason why she goes to that place to not only get closure, but reclaim her power. So that one is a solid both answers. Yes. Yes, Jean. I can see that too.
Yeah, I definitely say that. Okay, I feel like we've been an hour and a half into the interview. Okay, so I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna start asking some question about you. Okay, asking some question about the author, and then we're gonna let you go. Okay, so for the readers who still on the fence about picking it up, what would you say to convince them that For His Muse Only deserves a spot on their TBR? What would you say to the readers that watching it live, and once I upload it to YouTube, why you want them to pick it up? So give a little detail why they should read it. Even though we read it, we know what it's about. But for the readers who have not, what would you tell them?
I would say if you want a thriller that doesn't explore typical thriller characteristics, you want a thriller that's character driven, you want a thriller that explores drama, you want a thriller that unpacks the unusual dynamics between morally gray characters, For His Muse Only series is definitely for you. It has a lot of character study elements to it. It explores taboo natures. It explores the idea of what happens when self-expression goes too far. For
Yeah.
sure. What happens? This is what it looks like. Or how soon are you supposed to stop the first red flag? That's another thing that you can think of too. So, and also a main thing is with my books, I feel like anytime you reread them, you catch something new. Like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time between those two characters. I use elements of art to express various emotions like fear, excitement, dread, and even premonitions too. So yeah, that's kind of how I would narrow it down. I hope that helps. I don't know. I think that that's pretty much it.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna ask the question, and I'm gonna ask y'all a question. The people that watching this live, I'm gonna ask y'all the question. I have not read book 2 yet. So if you have anybody read book 2, so put it in the comments. Just let me know yes or no. Have you read book 2?
Oh, thanks, Jean. Um, hmm, I'm not sure if anyone in here has.
Okay, nobody ever read book 2 yet? Okay. Because the reason why I'm asking, because the way book 1, the way book 1, the way you love book 1, right? I think we need to bring you back for book 2. Book 2 and book 3.
Okay.
Because we got some more, because I definitely want to get more into Harlan. I want to know more about Harlan and more about book 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yes, he's
Okay.
definitely in book 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm definitely gonna bring you back for book 2, so we discuss book 2, cause for book 2, since everybody been interested, reading on the comments and everything, so everybody joined this book. So I'm definitely gonna bring you back for book 2.
Yay.
Okay.
I'm
So
happy.
what? So I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking a question about you as an author. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you 2 questions because I feel like I took up too much of your time.
No,
Okay.
you're fine. I love it. Don't apologize.
Okay, so my question is for you, for the readers who may be discovering you for the first time, who is Ada Afam, and what inspires you to become an author?
Ada Afam is someone who likes reading about stakes that can test a sense of danger, but then also push who you are as a person. I absolutely love all types of thrillers. I love all types of dramas. I love horror movies. I like something that gets my heart going. I'm all
Yeah.
about the anxiety. I know I'm weird. I don't know. If it makes me nervous, I want to read it because something about that in that instance when you're watching something or you're reading something and you feel your heart going, you know in that moment that you're alive and you're empathizing for the character that's in sudden danger and you want to know if they get out of it. I've been with my husband since I was 21. I'm 36 now. I have 3 dogs. I love them to pieces. They're always at my feet when I type. I think it's safe to say that I use a bit of my own personal influences in my books. Patience is also Nigerian American. She is also a special needs teacher. I was one. She is one in the book.
Yeah.
And I just like the sense of feeling that my stories resonate with people, and people most importantly say that, oh, this scene here is relatable to me because XYZ. And the fact that it's a thriller and not just a thriller with so many multi-genres in it, and people tell me that certain scenes are relatable, that makes me feel like I'm doing my job as an author, because relatability is definitely a factor. If you feel like you can't relate to any of the characters or the scenarios in there, then that's something I need to go back and visit the drawing board. And with Patience, she's the reason why Patience is near and dear to my heart. I understand that she does make a lot of mistakes, but she's a flawed character that has promise for growth to get herself in a situation that that can be proven dire to people. And that's those generational curses of not wanting to face mental illness, whether it be because of cultural reasons or religious reasons, whatever. But facing that head on, I think that's when you can only go up from there. And that's what I typically like writing about and reading about.
Okay. So this gonna be my last question for the night, and then we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna bring you back. Okay. So where can readers find you? How can they purchase your book if you have signed copies? And also, where do you want readers to be in your book business, basically?
Yes. Well, you guys can find me on my, I have to be careful because of TT rules. Link of trees under my TikTok bio. You can find me on IG. You could also find me on, y'all already know, y'all can find me on Discord. And Book of Faces. All of that is listed on my Link of Trees under my TikTok bio. And what else? I do have my email underneath that link as well. And yes, the Black Shelf. Duh, why didn't I start with that? Absolutely. Yes, Miss Panther, the Black Shelf. Please find me on there. And that's where I also have my signed copies too, is my website attached to the Black Shelf as well. Yes, I will scream that as loud as I can. Please do find me on the Black Shelf, because that's where all my information is there. And if you want signed copies, that's something that I also have for not just my first book, but Shades of Okoye and Grace Okoye, Shades Unleashed. They're also all signed there too. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. So that's for people, y'all can find her at y'all. She on Black Shelf and everything else. So we will definitely schedule for book 2. I'm booked for next month. So I do have some opening in September. So so let me ask y'all this, okay? Can everybody read their book 2 by September? You put yes or no in the comments, thumbs up, whatever y'all want to do it. Give me emojis or something so I can make sure I do this in the time frame. Because I wanted to be able to come back to discuss book 2. Okay, they say yes. Okay.
Oh, y'all are awesome. I love y'all so much.
Thank
you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll bring you back in September. So I'm going to reach out to you and see what day you're available in September. Because I closed August. But for September, I definitely bring you back. We'll just figure out what day time it works. And so we'll just go from there. So we'll be back for September. I'm going to make sure y'all know what day it is and time and everything. I'm going to make out the flyer again. And we're going to I'm going to register the live this time. I'm going to register the live so everybody can be prepared. Yay. So we'll be back for book 2 to find out what Holland, Obi, and Patient been up to. Because listen. Listen, so I appreciate y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for being so patient with me as I had to step away. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for the gift. Thank y'all for the likes. I really appreciate it. So, like I said, if you missed some of the live, it will be on YouTube sometime this weekend. So, let me know. Just make sure if you want to review the live, just go to YouTube and check it out, whatever. And so I'll definitely be back. And then also, if y'all think my question deep tonight, trust me, it's gonna be probably much more deeper.
I was gonna say we can do some spoilers on the first book on September. Yes, we can go in.
Yeah. Okay, you okay with spoiler from book 1?
Yes. If we've all read it, if we're doing book 2, then I think that should be okay, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that'd be perfect. Okay, because I just want to make sure. Cause I try not to fall anything for the people who may not read the book. I try to respect it. Okay, so I'll see y'all. I'll be back on live Wednesday with Author Shadon. Love at a Funeral. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'll be back Wednesday night. So I'll see y'all then. So y'all have a wonderful night, and thank y'all for hanging out with us. And thank you so much for being here with me. I do appreciate y'all.